Hey everybody, High Lord Tamerlane with another Obscurity in Miniatures. Today we're going to go back to the Wasteland and check out Fallout Wasteland Warfare. Now this is the first of the Super Mutants that I have picked up outside of the guys that came in plastic in the actual box that I haven't bothered to mess with because their weapons were so flimsy, floppy, I just didn't want to bother. So, today we have Hammer. And if you noticed, he's got a hammer and a big poochie with him. So 2 figures, 2 bases, and a bunch of cards. So the idea is that I'm going to end up probably with enough Super Mutants at some point to actually play the game with them rather than a bunch of puny humans who wish to pay them tribute. So we got the usual bag of cards. I'll set those to the side. I had to figure out how to play again because I've totally forgotten. And, oh, one nice thing I've noticed about all of the booster packs, this is considered a booster, not a starter. They all have some sort of extra bonus mission scenario in there. So that's always kind of nice and appreciated. But what we're here for are the miniatures. And these aren't very mini. No siree. So let's take a look at the dog first, because the dog looks nice and easy to put together. We've got the usual Modiphius base with Bethesda's logo on it. Contact points for the doggie's feet to attach. And the doggie itself is nicely detailed. Gonna need some cleanup, but that's to be expected at this point. Nice, easy clip off of there, so that's gonna be a pretty easy build. Hopefully he actually fits on his base nicely. And if you're curious, the bases look to be about 40 millimeters. I don't have a 40 millimeter base handy. Darn it. I got a 32 millimeter, dude. Let's see. Yeah, it's just a little bit bigger. It's a foreign guy. So, anyway, 40 millimeter bases, yes. And then there is Hammer. I'm assuming that's his name. So he's got a drum or something on his back. Some kind of a gun. I'm not a gun expert, I'm sorry. A junky gun. That's definitely one of the nice things about these Super Mutants is they are just covered in junk. I mean, they're supposed to be just, scrounging around in the wasteland after all. Thankfully, Hammer being resin is not super bendy. Looks like we have a light pole or telephone pole or something there, along with a bunch of ruined bricks on the base. Sadly, I can never get these clipped off neat and nice, and I always end up making a mess. If you guys have any suggestions, I'd love to hear about how to get them off without ruining the nice circular circumference of the base, but yeah, that always ends up happening. So I'm going to grab some clippers, and I've got some new glue, so hopefully that will help, and we can get these put together. So I will be back in a moment with some finished figures. All right, we are back. And here is our Super Mutant +1, a boy and his dog. So, our Super Mutant, as I said, pretty simple construction. I haven't glued him to the base yet. I noticed that the pegs don't really fit that well in this guy. They're a lot thicker and longer than they need to be, so I'll work on that. I have no idea what this gun is supposed to be made out of, but it's very cobbled together, just like his armor. You can see he's got his hammer there, just as his name suggests. Overall, pretty crisp details. I don't think he'll be too hard to paint. I know I had some challenges with the Brotherhood. Oh, boy. I don't know where his arm went. I had a couple challenges with the Brotherhood figures in their basic combat armor. They were really kind of hard to see. Might be worth pointing out that the contact points for the arms are very, very shallow. I thought I had enough of a grip on it, but didn't seem like it wanted to hold. So I'll deal with that in a sec. I'll put him back on his base if he would be so kind as to stay. Now, I'm not sure how these guys stack up to, like, say, a GW Ogre or something. Now, they're supposed to be big and green. So, the dog for sure is quite a bit larger. I grabbed a Brotherhood of Steel basic soldier just so you can kind of get an idea. I want to say he's on a 30 millimeter base. This is obviously a 40. And you can see there is pretty nice size discrepancy there. Now, a human in power armor is a little bit more closely aligned in terms of size, but that dog is going to really give them the run for their money. The only kind of orc or ogre I had handy was a Reaper Bones figure. That's quite a bit larger, so that's not really helpful, but I just wanted to at least give you kind of an idea. Let's see, I mean, if you want Super Mutants, I was thinking, you know, for orcs or something, it might be kind of an interesting figure to run. They'd be kind of like Primaris-sized orcs, but again, the guns and any kind of equipment you use aren't really going to match up. I don't own any orcs. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. His feathers give him a little bit of a height advantage, I guess, but you can see, so we'll put them all on display there. I'm really curious to see how this guy stacks up with his dog, because I know they come with a couple of the dogs in the starter. I don't own the starter yet. I haven't been able to track one down. That's been the hardest one to find for a reasonable price, and there's very few, it seems, on eBay or in stock at any of the online shops, so sooner or later we're going to get them. And I at least have the ones that are in the starter box, but they weren't too spectacular looking. So, this is the hammer, and I don't know what the dogs are actually called. Mutant Hound. Okay. I'm not sure if he's a character model or if he's just a hammer-using unit. We'll have to find that out. I'm going to sit down and start reading the rules to the game because the goal, hopefully, is to play it this weekend and give it a try. We'll probably bust out some of the battle systems, shantytown terrain I have, and give that a run with it, too. So we got some 3D obstacles and line of sight blocking elements. But that's enough about that. So, again, this is Hammer, his Super Mutant puppy. And I am High Lord Tamberlane, and this has been Obscurities and Miniatures saying, see you later. Bye-bye.